In our previous class, we had discussed theoretically the few concepts. The first one is what a constant pointer is, what is a base address, and then the name of the array, what it stores, right? To just give a quick recap, whenever we declare an array, the name of array is treated as a constant pointer, right? Which stores the base address of the array, right? Constant pointer means it is a pointer which stores the memory address, but as it is a constant means it will not change its value. Whatever the memory address it has stored, it will not change it. Base address means it is the memory location of the first element of the given array. So in this case, if in this array we have 5 elements, the first element is what? 5, the 0th indexed element. The memory address of this 5 is stored in the name of the array. Okay. And in the previous class, we had also seen how to access the memory addresses of all these elements. Today, I will just try to show you how we can access the elements of the array in different methods. The first method is which we are already studied in the first semester, that is elements using index values, accessing the elements of an array using index values. Okay, now it is pretty simple. We just need to write a for loop, right? For I equals to 0, I, in this case, the 5 elements are there, I is less than 5, then I plus plus, repeat it through. And what are we going to do? We are going to access the elements of this particular array. So directly let's print the elements. Okay, let's say here directly I'm just printing the element, and I can just provide it here ARR within the square brackets the I value. So when we give the notation, right, name of the array followed by 2 square brackets, and within these square brackets the number which we provide, that particular positioned index value, the element will be fetched and it will display. For the first time it will retrieve the I value is 0, so the first element, that is 0th positioned element, will be retrieved. Like that, from the 0th position to the 4th position, that is the last element, will be retrieved, and it will display all the elements on the screen. So now let's have a slash n here for better demonstration. Okay, now let me write a statement above printf elements using index. Okay, elements using index. Okay, now so when we execute this program, obviously it is going to just display all those elements, right? Quickly execute the program. Now, the above 5 lines here, these are the index, the memory addresses which we have seen in the previous class, and here the elements. This concept already we are aware about. Now, additionally, what we are going to learn here is that how we can access the elements of the array using the base address. Right? The base address means what? Name of the array. Name of the array always stores the base address. Then how can we access the elements? Now, if you just quickly look into this particular convention here, array plus I, this will give us the memory address, isn't it? In this particular line, this ARR is basically what? It stores the memory address, the first element's address, right? So since it is a memory address, if we want to retrieve the value, then how can we change this particular statement to retrieve the value? Can anyone tell me? This ARR is what? A pointer, right? It is a constant pointer. Now, it is pointing at particular location, right? Now, if I want to retrieve the value where it is been pointing, how can I retrieve it? Which operator we have to use to retrieve the value?
Asterisk.
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 Asterisk notation, that is indirection operator we need to use, right? Now, the same way if I write here, let me just take up these lines because I need the same lines. I'm just going to modify few of the things. Elements using, here I will write base address. Now I'm going to retrieve the elements, that is the values, using the base address, right? I'm going to repeat through the for loop from 0 to 5. Only change is going to be what? Here. Since these are the values, integer value. So percentage D holds good as the access specifier, the format specifier. Now here I know that ARR is a base address, right? So plus I will do, that is for the first time I is going to be 0 and it will keep on incrementing up to 4. So for all the 5 elements it will give the values. Now we know that this, whatever I have highlighted here, this will give the memory address for the respective elements. Okay, now if I want the value, then I need to place a asterisk here. I need to place an asterisk. So the value located, right, by this particular memory address will be retrieved. Now, if we execute the program, again, we can see that elements using base address, can you notice here, we are getting 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. The elements we are able to access. How we are able to access these elements? Just pay attention to the top lines here, right? These 5 lines. What are these basically? These are just ARR plus I, means the memory location of respective indices, right? Those particular elements. If we place a star before this, means value at those particular memory addresses, right? The first one is what? Value located in this particular memory address is 5. Then the value located in this memory address is 10. Like that way, we are able to access every element using the base address. Using the base address. Understood, students? The difference, if you notice here in the syntax, how we are using, this is the convention, the traditional method of accessing the elements using the index. This is using the index. How can we recognize? You can see here there are a pair of square brackets, right? A opening and closing square bracket is there. That means it is index method, right? Now here, if you look into this convention, there are no square brackets, means we are not using a index method. But what is the method we are using here? If you notice carefully, we are using the name of the array, right? Name of the array means it is a base address. So we are trying to access the every elements of the array by using the base address. Followed? Any doubts here? You want me to repeat the explanation, or is it understood, students?
So understood.
Okay. Now, the next method is accessing those array elements using the pointer, right? Now here pointer means we are going to declare a pointer which will hold the address of the array, right? Now not the base address here. We are not going to access using base address, that is, but we are going to use or access using the pointers. Now we know that there is already a variable. The variable here is an array of the integer data type. So now I need to declare a pointer. That means what? I should again declare a pointer of the same data type, that is integer only. Since it is a pointer, I have to place an asterisk, then I have to provide a name for the pointer. So here I will do it as int star ptr, right? This is what declaration. Now if I want to initialize this particular pointer, then I can use ptr equal to address of the particular array. Now what is the name of array here? Please respond.
ARR.
ARR. Now, can anyone tell me how can I initialize the pointer here? This is the array, the variable, right? This is the pointer, and I want to initialize this particular pointer with the address of array. Then how can I do that? ptr equals to what I should write?
Address of
In bracket ampersand ARR.
Can you come again? The voices got mixed up. One of you.
PTR is equals to asterisk in bracket ARR. Ampersand ARR.
A ampersand ARR. This is the one of the fine. Then any other? Anyone else? Anybody else? Now we know
Sir,
that.
ampersand ARR.
Okay, so it is like this, you are telling PTR is equals to ampersand ARR, isn't it? Okay, anybody else? Any other answers?
PTR is equal to ampersand
Ampersand
N
N. What is N here? Okay, next,
variable name, sir.
variable name. What is the variable name? What we want here? Okay, let me write it here. If you have not followed the question, let me write it here. Initialize the pointer PTR with the address of array ARR. Initialize the pointer PTR with the address of ARR. Then, so now can you cross verify the answers what you have told? Does these any of the answers match with the statement what we have done here, written here? It is pretty simple. Left hand side should be a pointer, so its left hand side in all these statements is a pointer itself. Right hand side is what? It should be an address of the array. Now, how can I get the address of the array?
Using ampersand.
variable.
Using ampersand name of the array. Correct. Now, read this statement, the one which I am highlighting here. What this particular name of the array stores? What this name of array stores?
Base address.
Base address.
Base address.
So base address means it is the first address of that particular entire 10 memory blocks. Is it so? Is that base address? Is it the first memory address of all those 10 memory blocks here? Now,
Yes, sir.
right? So who can give me that particular address? Only name of the array. Only name of the array. That means if I write PTR equals to ARR, that's it. This is the additional concept that we need to understand with respect to the pointer initialization. Because in case of arrays, since this name of the array already stores the base address, that is the first memory block, the address of the first memory block. And if I want to know that value, the address, I need not to place this ampersand then array. Just the name of the array is sufficient for me. Just name of the array is sufficient for me, right? By accessing that particular array, that particular name of the array, we get the base address, and that address now we will store into a PTR. We will store into a PTR. Now we got a pointer here. We got a pointer. The difference between here, the difference between two things. The first one is ARR. It is constant array, and this is the PTR is a variable pointer. Sorry, constant pointer. Let me write it as a constant pointer. And it is a variable pointer. Variable pointer means it can change its value. Okay, the ARR is a constant pointer, and the pointer PTR which we have declared, it is also a pointer which can change its values. In simple terms, you can just try to visualize or understand, like if we have, suppose in the program, if we have defined any constants, right, and we also have declared certain variables, assigning those constant values to the variables, the same way we have just made use of the similar concept here, right? Now, the major difference is that according to these definitions of these names, the major difference is that this ARR value cannot be changed, whereas this PTR value can be changed. I will repeat once again. the value of ARR cannot be changed because it is a constant pointer, whereas the value of this PTR can be changed because it is a variable pointer. It is a normal variable. We can change its values. Okay, now if you have understood these two lines, then I will proceed further. If you are not understood, then I can explain it once again. Is this notation understood? Declaration of a pointer and then initializing that pointer with the address of the array. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now fine. If that is understood, then let us move further here. Right now here we want to access the elements of the array using that particular pointer which we have initialized here. Now this pointer, using this particular pointer, we need to initialize, we need to access the elements. Now again I require the similar line statements, only one particular word I am going to change it there. So elements, accessing the elements using pointer. Right now here I need to make certain changes. Now I need to access it by using what? Pointer. So I will write pointer PTR, isn't it? Now since it is a pointer, how can I get a value? I can get a value just by placing an asterisk here. Right? Understood this notation here? Star PTR means what? Value located at this particular memory location. So PTR is storing the base address, so it will just display the base address. It will go to that particular base address and whatever value is stored, it will try to retrieve from there. Okay, now when I execute these lines, can you tell me what will be the output? What will be the output if I execute this particular piece of lines?
Sir, it will display only the base address.
Base address, or it will display the value at the base address?
Sir, value at the base address.
It will display value of the base address. How many times it will display value of the base address? Only one time?
5 times.
It will display 5 times. Now let us check it. Now look at here. It is just displaying the value of the base address 5 times because we have written a code where this particular line will get executed 5 times. But if we want to access all the elements, what we need to do? We need to increment this particular pointer. We need to increment the pointer by adding an incrementation. So if we place the incrementation here, so every time the pointer will get incremented and it will point to the next element of the array and then it will fetch the value. Now if we execute, you can notice the difference here. Elements using pointer 5, 10 and up to 25, all the 5 elements are accessed. Okay, now let us understand, since I have taken all these 3 different methods in the same program, let us understand this concept very clearly, the last one, how it works. Okay, now for that, let me open up an Excel sheet and try to show you the diagrammatically, let me show you how it works. I think this should help me. This particular thing should help me. Let me take out these things. Okay, now one second. Now it is fine. Okay, now this is what the array what we have declared. Okay, let me take a name of the array as different here. Let it be empty. Now ARR is the name of the array, right? Name of the array means what? It is now pointing where? It is pointing to the base address, right? 2001. Now At the same time, when I declare a pointer, say PTR, and I'm assigning this particular pointer, say when I write int star PTR equal to ARR, that means the PTR, there will be a memory location for PTR also. Consider this is the memory location. Okay, let me have it here. Say this is PTR. Okay, now what this particular PTR is storing, it is storing the whatever ARR storing. What ARR stores, it stores the first memory block, that is 2001. So now this 2001 is stored in PTR. Okay, now that is what we have done in the beginning statements, these particular statements, right? Now after that, let us try to focus these lines, right? Now we are trying to repeat through 5 times. We are going to repeatedly execute this statement 5 times. Okay, now how it works here? Now initially it is PTR plus plus means what type of incrementation it is? Is it a pre-incrementation or post-incrementation?
Yeah.
Post increment.
Post, sir.
Post-incrementation. Post-incrementation means what? Do we need to increment the value first and then use it? Or we need to use the value and then increment?
Use the value.
Yeah, use the value. Next time when that particular variable is accessed, that time you increment it, right? So now what will happen? The PTR will be used. PTR will be used means what? What PTR contains here? 2000, right? It contains 2000. That means star PTR means now it is going to be what? Star of 2001. So star of 2001 means what? Value located at 2001 memory address. So what is value located in the memory 2001? It is 10. So that 10 will be first displayed. That 10 will get displayed. Now, since the for loop will get increment, for loop will go into the next iteration. During that time, again, it finds the same statement. It finds the same statement. Now, but previously there was a post incrementation. That means what? Now PTR has to be incremented. PTR has to be incremented means in the PTR, initially it was 2001, but there was a incrementation done. Now it should get incremented. Now, what do you think? Will it increment to 2002 or it will increment to 2003? Which one it will get incremented to? From 2001 memory address, when it gets increments, what value it will get increment? Is it 2002 or 2003?
2003, sir.
2003, right? Incrementation means basically what here? It is PTR is equals to PTR plus 1, right? Now PTR value was what? 2000. 2000 plus 1. In the previous class we have studied this 2000 and plus 1 is not a single number here, simple number. Rather it is what? It is 2000. So 2001, sorry, 2001 plus 1 into the size of that particular data type, that is 2 bytes. That is 2 bytes. So it will be what? 2001 plus 2. So we get here 2003 as part of incrementation. So once this incrementation is done, for the next time, the value of this particular PTR will get updated with what? It will get updated with 2003. Now, star of PTR means what? It is star of 2003 means the value located at 2003. So what is the value located at 2003? It is 20. So now 20 will be printed. Again, there is a post incrementation means next time when it gets executed, that time this 2003 will be incremented. Whenever the operations, arithmetic operations happens on these hexadecimal numbers, that is the memory addresses, the incrementation is not actually by 1 or 2. It depends upon the size of that particular data type. So next incrementation means from 2003, it will change it to what number?
2005.
2005.
2005. So now it will change to the 2005. So star 2005 means the value located in 2005. So what do we have the value in 2005 memory address? 30. So that 30 will be printed. This way, it keeps on repeatedly executed file for 5 times, and all the 5 times we get 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 gets printed. This is the advantage of having a pointer to the arrays. What is the advantage? If you notice here, this PTR value we are modifying here. We are modifying the value. But if the same thing, if we try to do with the base address, like if we write here ARR, right? Instead of this PTR, if I write it as a ARR, it will give me a compilation error. It will give me a compilation error. Look at here. When I compile this program, I get an error here. L value required as an increment operand. Right? In the previous class, we discussed it. Right? Why this error is coming? Because this ARR is a constant pointer. It is a constant pointer. ARR is a constant pointer. We cannot change its values. But if we make use of a pointer which stores that particular value, memory address, then we can change its pointer value, increment or a decrement based upon the need, and get the desired outputs. Is it understood, students? It requires additional learning from your side. I'm going to give you this particular code and try to go through once again and then understand the code. Okay, all the 3 different methods I have just put over here: accessing the array elements using index, accessing the array elements using base address, accessing the elements using pointers. Okay, any doubts, students, here?
No, sir.
2 things you need to remember when we initialize pointer with the array. The first is PTR is going to be equal to what? Just name of the array. There will not be any ampersand, because ARR itself stores the address, so we directly initialize it, right? And since it is a pointer, it's a variable, we can modify its value by incrementing or decrementing. Okay, now suppose, let me test your skills on the pre-incrementation and post-incrementation. Now, if I write a statement like this here as a pre-incrementation, right, what it is going to display, the output? What will this particular couple of lines will display? Can anyone answer? When it was earlier, when it was PTR plus plus, it displayed 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. But if we change this post incrementation to pre incrementation, what it will print?
10, 15, 20, 25.
10, 50, 20, 25, only 4 times. What will be the value for 5th time? See, first value got 10 because it is incremented first and then used the value. So from 2001, it incremented first, the value became 2003, and at 2003, 10 is there, so 10 got printed. Then 15, 20, 25, and for the next time, it is trying to access some data from a memory address where we have not stored any values. So by garbage value, it will try to take a 0, the default value as 0 over here. Okay, let me revert it back to the original thing. Okay, now I'm going to share all the codes with you, students. Now what you do, open a browser and type the, or let me give the code directly here, a link of the code. Now, I have put the link in the chat box. Okay, now don't access right now. I will put the code first and then you can access it. I will put the code first and then you can access. Let me give the previous also. This is the first one, demonstration of address of operator. Then the second one, size of operator. And then the next one, pointer variables. And then next, this is a pointer for all different variables and its sizes. Then the last one, then, okay, this is the program which we had worked upon, the swapping of two numbers. And then we have today's program, that is this one. Okay, now the link which I have given you, click on that particular link. It will go navigate on to a particular website, and once you will definitely see the same screen over there, and click download there. Click download. So the entire all programs code will get downloaded onto your system on your mobile phone. Did you get the code, students? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Right, this code you can use and individually execute the programs. Don't put all these codes in a single C program and then try to execute. It will not work it out because there are multiple main methods and a hash input statements. So individual programs later you can just try to save as a separate C programs and then execute it. Has everybody got the code? Anybody has a challenge in accessing the link? This link will be accessible for next 24 hours. The same link will be accessible for you for the next 24 hours. The code will be there. Okay, you can access the code. You just need to open that link and then click on download. Don't do anything else. Just click on download. The file will get downloaded onto your mobile phone. Okay. Fine. Put in your attendance. Enter your attendance. Now what I want is that I have shared all the programs with you. Okay, by the next class, you all should execute these simple programs. Okay, irrespective of whether you have system or not, because you can still execute all the programs on the mobile apps. I believe that you all have the mobile apps. If you do not have mobile apps, just make use of the online C compiler, right? You can just make use of the online C compiler. I will put the link again here of the online C compiler. 1 second. So make use of this particular online compiler and then execute the programs.